We made it back from our trip to Northwest Indiana Fab. The old truck and trailer did just fine, didn't have much troubles at all. A little breakdown on the truck, a small issue with the trailer, but not a big deal. Today what we're going to talk about is why this truck and this trailer is illegal to run on the roads of Ohio. If you're in the same situation or you've run into it, stick around. I'm JC Smith. I'm going to explain it all.
Dig into why is this truck and this trailer illegal to be run on Ohio roads. So most people are going to go right to the fact it needs a CDL. Well, we're not going to debate that because it just depends a lot on what you're doing, what you're using your truck for, how it's registered, and whether or not you're actually advancing. There's a lot of different reasons why you could or may not need a CDL, and we're not going to debate that because in this video we're not even concerned. What we're talking about is why it's illegal to run this thing in Ohio. So in order to dig into this, you really have to familiarize yourself with Ohio law, and everything I want to talk about here is Ohio. Now your state may be similar, but you should probably check with your agency of whoever it is that has the jurisdiction over this. So the first thing we have to do is talk about what is this? What is this? This is what we call a truck and a trailer. So in the state of Ohio, every vehicle has its limitations based on what the state says, how wide it can be, how high it can be, and how long it can be. So a trailer in Ohio can be up to 53 feet long. There are some provisions that allow for some overhang and some non-permanent pieces. So in Ohio, they allow us to have, I think it's 4 feet on the back overhang and 3 feet in the front. Well, this trailer is made by East Texas Trailer. They consider this thing to be a 40-foot gooseneck. Now, when they say 40 feet, they're talking about from the usable part of the deck. So it's going to be from here up to here that you can actually put cargo on, load something on this trailer up in to this area right here. Now, when you measure this trailer from the tip of that gooseneck tongue all the way to the back over here, it's actually a 50-foot trailer. Doesn't really matter, still well under length. This, in Ohio, is considered a truck. Now, when manufacturers make vehicles, especially in the, say, 2,500, 3,500, well, 3/4 ton, 1 ton, and however you want to classify it, 4,500s, 5,500s, 450s, 550s, all of those, they typically use a smaller cab. So this truck was purchased originally as a Ram 3500's 2012 crew cab, full drive diesel, and it was ordered as what's considered and called in the industry as an incomplete chassis. A cab and chassis is what we call it. What that means is when it was built brand new and delivered to the dealer, there was nothing on the back of this truck. And the purpose for that is because many people buy these trucks and they want to do what's called an upfit. This flatbed would be considered an upfit. So in order to make things standardized, medium duty trucks typically have a different frame than what you call a pickup truck. Like if you saw this truck with a regular pickup truck bed on it, you'd be some slight differences from here back. There are other differences in motor, transmission programming, horsepower rating, stuff like that. We won't get into that, but from here back is what we're basically saying. So from here back, basically the frame, instead of going wider like many pickup trucks do, their frame gets kind of wide back here. When the manufacturers are doing an incomplete chassis, they will narrow that. So it has basically an outside-to-outside measurement of 34 inches. The purpose for this is so what the upfits are going to put on it are much easier and standardized, so the upfit is, much simpler. Another thing you might find is that the measurement from the back of the cab, that center of the axle, is going to be different than your pickup truck. So this may look like it would take an 8-foot bed on here from a pickup, but it will not, because from the back of the cab, the center of this is 60 inches. On the same thing with a pickup truck bed, I think it's 56. So you couldn't put a pickup truck bed on here, and the fact that the frame rails are traditionally straight on these. So instead of coming back and having a hump over top of the axle like a lot of pickup trucks do, they're more straight. Again, that goes to your whole upfit situation. That truck and that trailer is only allowed to be 65 feet long. So this combination is 66 feet 4 3/4 inches. You've already done the math. You know that 65 is less than 66 4 3/4. Well, that's where we're at. So this trailer and this truck combination is 1 4 3/4 too long. So in order to understand how we remedy this, you have to get in and consider and talk about terminology, because everything with the government and state agencies, right, is about terminology, and they're very good about using specific words to define specific things. There's no question in our minds, this is defined as a trailer. This is nothing new. Where it gets complicated is this is currently registered as a truck. If I would take my truck, remove this aluminum bed, put my hitch on there with no way to carry cargo on the back of this, and re-register this thing as a tractor. Now a tractor, I'll show you one of these other trucks I have around here as an example of a tractor. A tractor cannot be used to haul anything without the addition of some type of trailer, where it's, you know, pulling it from the fifth wheel or gooseneck, or, you know, a pull behind. It must have a trailer to haul any cargo. So by changing this to a tractor, re-registering it, now all of a sudden my limitations of my truck that was only allowed to be 65 feet with a truck and trailer, now as a tractor and a trailer, the same setup is legal, because now my overall length is 75 feet. And it's all in how you register the truck. Now, I don't want to take the bed off my truck and register as a tractor, because that pretty much makes that truck only usable with a trailer, and that's kind of the intention. Well, I don't want to do that. So the solution for me is going to be either to use a different trailer that's 1 4 3/4 shorter, or use this trailer with another truck. So in Ohio, that's what I'm talking about, is just Ohio, these are our options. Now we could go with a shorter one. Is that paint? Yeah, it's from before. So we could shorten the trailer. We don't want to shorten the trailer. I used to run a very similar setup, same truck, but with a 53-foot trailer. The thing was, back when I did that, no one really enforced this rule. And I'm noticing lately that in Ohio, this is becoming a bigger deal, or they're coming around to enforcing this more. Whether, I don't know if it's true and accurate, because I couldn't find actual documentation that says a truck tractor must use just a fifth wheel to be a truck tractor. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I'm digging into it to see. But let me show you an example of a truck tractor similar to this. So this is my 2016 Dodge Ram, whatever, 5500. Now this truck is the same as that one as far as the cab configuration. It's a crew cab, it's a dually, it's a diesel, it's four-wheel drive, but it is set up as a tractor. So we have an actual fifth wheel from a semi on this truck, which allows us to use step deck trailers, goosenecks, whatever. And you can see what we used with it last time was a gooseneck with a kingpin adapter in it. So the difference in this is just the fact it's the same truck, it's the same frame rails, it's the same basic configuration, just that it has a traditional semi-style fifth wheel on it. Now, just by using this truck with that trailer, I can be 75 feet. Now, you might notice here that it's a little bit longer. This is an 84 cab to axle. Back to the cab center of the axle is 84 inches. One of the nice benefits about this is our trailer that we use could have a little bit more overhang in the front, and we could still make nice sharp turns. I prefer an 84 cab to axle. I think it's a much better fit for what this is. There's also some stipulations as far as the DOT is concerned. We have a fuel tank back here, so as you see, it has to be protected. This was done when I bought the truck. I didn't do this. I would never drill holes in the top flange of a truck frame, especially putting aluminum in that's just going to break or come loose. These should have came around the edge and had brackets that bolted in here. That's what I would have done. But it is what it is. That's the way the truck was when I got it. So there are the examples of the difference in terminology in just the way Ohio works and the way you register things. Let's talk about another truck. It's just a tractor. So as you can see here, this is a pretty typical example of what you would consider to be a truck tractor, a tractor that would be set up with a trailer. This combination, again, 75 feet long. Here we have a Freightliner Cascadia in a single axle. Same thing. It doesn't have the ability to carry any cargo on it, just has a fifth wheel and basically nothing back here. Again, this is a truck tractor. Now we have another truck over here. We'll have to talk about it. It's kind of an Expediter setup. It's a little bit different. So this truck is what we'd consider to be an Expediter. This thing was a Freightliner FL 106. It's got a 72-inch sleeper on it, which is really attractive. A lot of room in that sleeper. And we had enough frame on here that the truck originally had a 24-foot box. You can see the frame extension that they put on for the box. Had some landing gear back here because they would run tow motors in this truck, and it used to haul, this particular truck used to haul auto parts, and it was like a short load back and forth. I bought this truck because, well, it's an Airliner air ride suspension under the rear, has a 9-speed transmission, and a rare, not very common in trucks, Detroit Series 50 4-cylinder diesel engine. Not a 2-stroke, it's a 4-stroke. I'm not a 2-stroke fan whatsoever. I bought the truck because I wanted to put a flatbed on the back of it and use it like we had used a couple of my other trucks in the past. Again, so we're not going to re-register this truck and take that bed off. We're just going to use a different trailer with the other truck, and we'll just sell this one. We don't need this one. I have another one that's actually better, because in a gooseneck, this big neck is set up to go around your pickup truck bed so you don't damage the bed sides. We don't need that. The trucks that we're going to use, I'm going to just take a trailer and we'll turn it into a step deck, and then I'll have that same 50-foot length, but now I have 50 feet of usable deck. Actually, we'll probably go to 53 feet, to be honest with you, because why wouldn't you? It just makes good sense. The longer the trailer, the more ability I have to manipulate the load forward and back and change how much weight we put on the drive axles and how much we put on the trailer axles. So there's a little terminology and some things that may help some of you as far as staying out of trouble with the state of Ohio. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.